Start your own passive online income. Your online success starts now. Welcome to the Online Success Podcast with Michael Brown and Justin Lewis.
Welcome to another edition of the Online Success Podcast with Michael Brown and Justin Lewis. And today we have an awesome episode for you. We are on episode number 8. And Justin, dude, what are we going over with everyone today?
All right, so today we're going to be talking about what you should and pretty much should not be sharing on Facebook. We're going to be giving you 3 tips. We're going to be sharing these tips with you. If you're watching the YouTube video, you can actually check these out. If you want to, you can go to nicheoptimizer.com/OSP8, and you can actually check out these images that we're sharing with you. But the real thing here is just to give you 3 ideas of what works on Facebook, what's going to get you more likes, more comments, and more shares on your status updates with Facebook.
Awesome, man. This is one that I know we were talking about and we wanted to put together because we had some questions in the course over this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's something we're part of a group on where we talk about this stuff all the time. So it's a really interesting topic that people can take advantage of this. So, I even learn a lot with this every day.
Yeah, and that group is Facebook content sharing. And there's a lot of great stuff in there. A lot of people share different things that they've shared on Facebook before that have gone viral or could potentially go viral. So it's pretty cool. But let's go ahead and just jump right into this. And number one of the biggest things that I've ever had, that I've ever posted up on Facebook that has gone absolutely viral to like an extreme extent was super simple. I mean, it's amazingly simple. All it is it's a bit of text that I created in Paint. So I just used something like Microsoft Paint. You can find something like PicMonkey at picmonkey.com and create something like this. And it's just a square, so a square image with like a black background. It can be any color background, actually. You can try different colors if you want to. And then just text, very, very large text directly on top of that black background or whatever color background. And my example of what I used in everything was name a Xbox game that does not have the letter A in it. And then I ended that by saying, I bet you can't, with a winking face. And it worked really, really well too. So that individual post by itself got 10,363 comments, and I posted that up, I think it was about a week ago. So that one's really, really awesome. It's been seen by over 340,000 people in the last week.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, I remember when you showed me that when you first did it, and in the first hour, it was great. It was just astronomical already, yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's going to be huge. And then it just kept going. It's still going. It's still growing.
Yeah, within the first, I think it was within the first 12 hours. Now, this is another big thing with Facebook, is usually the beginning of something is where you pick up the largest amount of likes, comments, shares. So after I posted it, within 12 hours, it already had like 6,000 comments on it. So it's pretty crazy. I don't know how many likes it has. I believe it has around 1,000 likes. And just I think maybe a few shares, but that's really it. But the big thing there was just trying to get comments on that individual post. Now, this same strategy, you can use this with pretty much anything. If you want people to respond to something, if you want them to press that like button, press the share button, anything at all, you can use this exact same strategy by just using a colored background, any color. It can even be white. As long as it stands out. So a color background with just text written on top of that background that's pretty large. And the reason that stands out is because there's text all over Facebook. There are images all over Facebook. But when you have your text standing out like it's really large, it's separated from everything else. It's separated from images. It's separated from the Arial text that they use inside of their HTML on Facebook and all that. And it's just really, really eye-catching. So it works really well.
Yeah, and if again, if you're listening to this and you want to see an example of this, Justin does have an example up, and it's at nicheoptimizer.com /OSP8, and you'll be able to look at the images that we're discussing here.
Yeah, and this image that I'm talking about right here, I'm also going to include a direct link to this. So any images that we mention in here, or any status updates that we mention, I'll include a direct link to that individual status. That way you can see the live interactions with that post.
Awesome.
So, but that one right there, that got 10,363 comments. Again, super simple. It's just text on top of a background. And it was seen by 340,000 people. I've heard of other people doing this same type of strategy, like with fish. So I think there was something where it said, name a fish that does not have the letter S in it, or something like that. And that one worked really well for that guy. I think he got somewhere around, I think it was around like 15,000 comments or something. So it can work really well. I don't know how long that individual one's going to work, but just text on a background, people are always going to notice that.
Oh, that's an awesome strategy, man. Yeah. Let's go on to the next one.
Okay.
And I actually, this one's one that works in even off of Facebook. This has been a strategy used in all kinds of marketing for a long time. But go ahead and discuss number 2, which is controversy, and explain that.
Yeah. So controversy. That one's pretty obvious. If you can get people that are passionate about something talking about it, they're gonna have their say. They're going to say whether they agree with what you're talking about or disagree. They're going to choose a side. And controversy is amazing on Facebook. It's amazing on the internet in general. Just try not to lose your reputation by posting something controversial. But like for an example, and I'll throw up a few others before I express what the image is on the screen. But a few examples. Microsoft versus Apple. So talking about Microsoft and Apple, there's a lot of controversy behind those two. I personally really, really love my Microsoft computers. I love my Windows-based computers and everything. I love Windows 7. It's awesome. I also have an iPhone. So, I'm mixed in between. It doesn't really matter to me. But there are some people that will only have Microsoft computers, and there are other people that will only have Apple computers or Apple phones and things like that. And those people, they will talk about it. They will discuss. They will say, "Hey, I really like Microsoft," and they'll pretty much be like, "Screw Apple" or something like that. And I know you've seen that one before. Those type of remarks about things. So.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Another one would be politics. So politics, I'll give you just an obvious one: Republican versus Democrat. If you mention anything politics and you have the Republican side of a discussion and the Democrat side of a discussion, people are going to talk about it, and that's going to go pretty viral. Now, politics, that one's a little shady and everything. It's a little that really depends on your personal opinions. I'm not going to say anything directly about it because I do have my opinions. So I believe, Michael, you have your opinions on a lot of things too.
On everything, I think we all do. That's the thing, and that's why that works so well.
Absolutely. And, a lot of times people won't actually talk about politics. It's just like religion. A lot of people won't directly talk about it on Facebook, but it still goes viral. There are a lot of other people out there that are really hardcore about it, and they will talk about it all day long. So you want to figure out, who your audience is and stuff like that. See what people are responding to this type of stuff.
And with that, I would refrain from posting anything political that gets a lot of attention like that if you're not in that kind of niche, though. So, I know some companies have done certain things where they'll post something controversial that is political or even religious, and it has nothing to do with their company and what they're actually promoting, and I think that's kind of negative for your business to do. So maybe look at it from the aspect that if it makes sense for the niche you're in. I mean, wouldn't you agree, Justin? Yo, Justin, you still there?
Hey everybody, this is Justin again. We had a few mishaps with our recording software. So while we were recording on Friday, it's actually Sunday now. So if you notice that I have changed clothing, um, this is not magic. Do not be afraid or anything like that. But yeah, so we just had a little technical mishap there and everything. So definitely glad to be back. And just to jump directly back into the podcast with what Michael was just talking about, yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying. I think that certain pages, certain Facebook pages and stuff like that should not talk about politics and should not talk about religion. And a lot of people out there will, post that type of stuff up, and it can actually hurt you more than it can help you, because that's not what your audience is there for, unless that's what your page is about. But let's just jump on to the image that we have on the screen. For those that are listening to the podcast, the image that we have is simply just, it's kind of text. It is two video games versus each other. And these are two very, very popular video games. They're actually I think they're the top selling video games of all time at the moment in 2013. And it's Black Ops 2 versus Halo 4. There is so much controversy behind these two, and I have used this exact image and this exact controversial message on my Facebook page called Halo 4 Fans. Quite often, actually. I post it up pretty regularly. Maybe about, I would say, once every 1 to 2 weeks, I will go ahead and talk about something dealing with Black Ops 2, even on my Halo 4 page, because there's just so much controversy behind the two, and the communities really fight for their game. So when I talk about Black Ops 2 on my Halo 4 page, my audience, they really, really talk. They will discuss and they'll comment after comment. They'll talk with other people, and then Black Ops 2 fans will come into the status update and they'll start commenting and stuff like that, and they'll kind of start fighting. But it's just a really, really great way to show your community support and get people talking. So controversy's definitely huge.
And Justin, with the controversy and with this topic specifically, your niche inside and out, and that's what people, you guys listening, that's what you need to do. You need to know your niche, know the trigger points in the niche that are going to get people communicating. And if you can find that controversy that's in there, you're going to get them active. And that's what Justin does with this. He knows that niche, pretty well inside and out. And knowing that allows them to create things like this. Because I know a lot of you might be going, well, I don't know in the community what would be controversial. Well, just do a little research and look it up, and you'll find it. And that's exactly what Justin did to be able to use this.
Yeah, and definitely test things out. Don't always just expect your first try to be the best try. Because with Halo, I automatically knew that Call of Duty was the most controversial thing that I could post on the page. But other things that I could try would be something like red versus blue. And that might not seem like anything to you, but for my audience, they understand what red is and what blue represents, and then they will combat against the two. So you really, really want to have knowledge of your niche. But you also want to test things. You want to try different controversial messages without really not bashing something. Don't go out there and just bash everything possible. Don't go out there and try to bash your own fans or your own community. That's just going to hurt you. But just try controversial things, because they're really, really, really huge on Facebook.
So what's the third one? Let's go into this, because this one's intriguing to me, because I see this all over my Facebook page constantly.
Okay, so the third one would definitely be new discoveries. So pretty much anything that is new to you is most likely new to somebody else. Actually, it is new to somebody else, because I don't know everything. Michael, you don't know everything.
Dude, don't let the secret out of the bag yet.
Right? Nobody knows everything, so something is always going to be new to someone else out there. So the image that we currently have on the screen is pretty simple, and it also has text in it. You'll notice most images that I ever use or ever talk about have text in it, so that should give you a tip. But this one says, "Spiders hate peppermint." And all it is a picture of peppermint and a spider next to it. That's literally it. And that post was shared by James Penn. I don't remember the actual Facebook page that he shared this on. I think it was Herbs and Oils or something like that. And it has over 13,816 shares to date. That's a lot of shares. That's a lot of people seeing this post. And it's super, super simple. And all it is just a very, very basic thing, just a new discovery, something interesting. I had no clue that spiders hated peppermint. You know, I knew certain types of animals did and stuff like that, but I didn't know that spiders did. So now I might actually go out and plant peppermint seeds or something like that in my garden, or around the house or something like that, because we have spiders all over the place. And a great way that he could have monetized this and actually made money with it is he could have linked out to his website where he could have been promoting peppermint seeds or some type of peppermint solution or lotion or something. I don't know what you really use, right? Peppermint lotion.
Keep the spiders off you at night. Just cover your body in like
Right.
peppermint lotion.
Oh God. There's something that you could probably share too. A lot of people don't know, and this might scare a few people, but spiders crawl in people's hair all the time, and they're just crawling around, and it sounds kind of creepy, but that's the type of stuff that people want to share on Facebook. They want to share things that are interesting, that are new, and things that they have never actually heard of. So
Is that true?
yeah, oh dude, I
Really?
mean,
Dude, I am gonna rub myself down in peppermint lotion tonight. That kind of freaks me out a little bit.
peppermint lotion. That's great. Oh my gosh, I'm getting a patent for that. They
I'll just
probably
order-
already have it,
I'll like order drop ship straight from you.
right? That's great. I'm gonna start that up immediately. Peppermint lotion. Okay, so definitely things like this. Yeah, definitely spiders. Just an example is that this could definitely scare a few people. But spiders can actually crawl into your mouth while you're sleeping, and that sounds weird, but we're all. I haven't never heard of anyone that has died from anything like that, and it's just what happens. I mean, there are critters all around the place where you live, everywhere.
Hey, you know,
So-
Justin, real quick too,
Yeah.
something like this in just the marketing side of me immediately when I see something like this could easily be linked to like just a blog page or a
Mhm.
like a kind of like a salesy page, but that was more informative. That went into like what to do. Okay, so the spiders hate peppermint. I know you just
Exactly.
kinda mentioned this, but talk more about why spiders hate peppermint, and then give solutions.
Yep.
Like, you need this, you need this, you need this. Guess what? People are like, because like me reading this, I'm like, okay, they hate peppermint. What do I do? What do I
Yeah.
need to do? I don't like spiders. Like, if I didn't like bears or something, like, hey, bears hate cinnamon.
Mhm.
And by the way, for anyone listening, I don't know if that's a fact. So if you spray cinnamon in a bear's face, it will probably eat you. So do not try that at home. But if you put out something like this, if you link it back, though, put up some kind of sales page on a blog. It just could be a blog post, but just mention what they need to have, like step by step. You're going to try that, aren't you?
It'll probably eat you.
I'll be running the podcast by myself in a week if that happens.
That was just a great way to express that.
This is the side of me you get when we get our when our podcast goes out earlier in the day, and we got to do this at late night.
It's great. Anyways, yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely agree that he could have linked out to a blog page. I think he did. So I am gonna share this actual status update on the podcast page, which is nicheoptimizer.com/OSP8.
Hey, Justin.
Yeah, what's up?
Dude, your mic broke up there real quick. Can you repeat that? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to link out to this status update so that people can see what the original poster did, and that'll be on the episode 8 page on nicheoptimizer.com, which is nicheoptimizer.com/OSP8. And if you head over there, you'll be able to actually click on a link directly below this picture when you see it, and you'll be able to go directly to that status update and see what he did. I don't think he went as far as like pushing products or anything like that. But now that I think about it, this could have been something like peppermint oil. So I said peppermint lotion earlier, but peppermint oil makes a lot more sense.
Well, with 13,000 or almost 14,000 shares, I mean, I would, you got to start thinking, hey, I need to market this in some way when you start getting that. And that's just the way I think about it.
Yeah, and the great thing about Facebook, or at least with images on Facebook, is that if you post an image on Facebook, you can always click on that image and then edit your status update or the text that went along with that image. So you can always, if something starts going viral, if it has an image attached to it, you can click that image, edit the text, and add in a hyperlink or a URL to your website or to your blog where you then promote or talk more about this specific thing.
Yeah, and that's easy to do. And if you have questions on that, just ask at this podcast. Ask at that page. Just drop it in the comments section, and Justin will get in there and he'll answer that. To be able to help you out a little more. It's very easy to do.
Super easy to do. It's simply clicking an image and then clicking edit, and then just typing inside of that little box and clicking done. But other than this, there are a lot of other things that you could do as well. When we say new to you discovery, when we say new discoveries, this could be relative to things like news and stuff like that. But that's not really what we're trying to talk about. We're more so trying to talk about interesting things that you have never heard of. And most likely somebody else out there, even though it's maybe something that's super basic, has also never heard of that same thing. So definitely try this out. Try out all of the tips that we expressed today in this podcast. We've got a lot of other great tips that are going to be posted on the podcast page, and make sure to comment and tell us what you think about these different tips, these different case studies that we have personally used or that we have personally seen. So, and for anyone out there, just so you can get to the podcast episode, again, that is nicheoptimizer.com/OSP8. And then if you want to get to our overall podcast to be able to access all of them and all of the notes and everything, that's nicheoptimizer.com/podcast. And Michael, do you want to talk about Niche Optimizer University?
Yeah, and if you guys are out there, you're listening, you want to do something more, you want to get into something where you can interact with a group that is supportive, that will help push you to make money online, to do more about making money online, join us at nicheoptimizer.com. Of course, I'm not pushing you to do that. That's just something that if you want to do this, go on and do it. Of course, you're always free and welcome to listen to our podcast constantly, to read our free stuff constantly. But joining the group is something that will ultimately help you, because we're always going to be there for you. We're going to answer your questions 24/7, and the group will be supportive there with you as well. So I can't stress enough, especially if you're brand new, just getting into making money online or building a blog and starting in a niche. Join in with us and see what you think. And if you like it, stay with it. If you just don't like it, you don't have to stay with us. But the majority of the people stay with us. They love it. They're asking tons of questions, and we're helping them every step of the way. So, again, I'm not pushing you. That's just something that if you're ready to take that step, we'd love for you to do it with us. nicheoptimizer.com.
Yeah, and just to toss on really quick, we are also starting up weekly live webinars for our students. So the members of Niche Optimizer University will actually get direct access to us every week, and they'll be able to ask questions, and we'll answer them on live video. So just like kind of like what you're listening to and stuff like that. If you like listening to us, if you like watching us, stuff like that, we'll be answering questions live inside of the university. So it's really, really cool, but definitely not trying to push it. Back to the podcast really quick. So you remember, this is episode 8. And all the show notes are on nicheoptimizer.com/OSP8. You'll be able to access all of the different status updates that we talked about in this inside of this podcast, as well as links to those actual status updates, so you can see what's happening with them right now.
Yeah, awesome, man. And we just want to thank you guys for listening to us. I know we were a little late getting this one out. We're probably about 5 or 6 days later than we typically would get a new podcast episode out. But hey, we've got it out. We're gonna have another one coming up real soon for you. Again, I'm Michael Brown, and you're on with Justin Lewis as well. And if you guys are watching on YouTube and you get to see the visuals, notice the pastel colors below our names. I don't know how it happened. I'm in baby blue and Justin is in pink this week. So
that's great.
Were you rocking the pink shirt right now?
No, I'm not. I'm not rocking a pink shirt right now.
Because I can't see you. Because I've got all kinds of visuals up here. But
I was totally rocking pink sunglasses at go-karts today. So
hey, there is nothing wrong with it, and as you can see, that's why we're displayed in that.
It's just funny because Michael's picture directly below it, his text is the perfect baby blue, so like a boy, and then you see my picture. I have a motorcycle helmet and everything. I'm supposed to look pretty pretty badass and everything, and it's pink. It's like the baby girl colors.
And I don't even know how it happened. It was kind of like one of those mishaps, and I'm like, I'm just gonna leave it.
It's great. I actually really like it, so I have no problem whatsoever. I will show you my masculinity. But anyways, whatever. For anyone out there listening, if you can go ahead to the podcast page for episode 8, share your thoughts on what you would share on Facebook inside of the comments section below. So that would be really helpful. It'll give us an idea of what you're possibly doing, and it can also help us give you some tips on maybe what to do and what not to do. Maybe we can say, hey, that's a really good idea, or we could be pretty blunt with it and say, that's actually a bad idea. Maybe you should try this.
Right. So. Followed by a here's why. This is why that's a bad idea. You won't hear us belittle an idea, because every idea you have is a new idea. It's going to be something that you can grow on. But if we know something for a fact is not, it doesn't work, or maybe it's been tried a different way and it just hasn't worked, we're going to just say, hey, be careful on it, because if because that probably will backfire or whatever. We've been around the block quite a bit and done a lot of things and screwed a lot of stuff up. So it helps with us teaching you. So if you do have something, we want you to, don't be afraid, come to the comments section, and leave us a comment and just let us know what you're doing or what your plans are. And again, we'll kind of walk you through it and help you out. You don't have to be a member to do that. You can just do it and we'll help you out.
Yeah, and it's just last note, just to toss this in there and everything, calculating all of the comments that we have had so far. Remember, we're only on episode 8 of the podcast, and we haven't even really pushed this out to many people yet. But on episode 8, so far through all of our podcasts, we're around, I think, 250 comments, or around 200 comments or something like that. I think even, was it episode 2 or something like that has 100 comments on it so far? Episode 4, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 4.
So, the one discussing experts. So make sure to go and watch that one, because there were a lot of comments on that one. People really, really liked it. And be sure to check out all of our other podcasts and get ready for episode 9 that should be coming out in the next couple of days.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And again, it's Michael Brown, and with me is, as always, Justin Lewis, and we will see you guys in the upcoming podcast. And also get over there and leave us a comment right now at nicheoptimizer.com/OSP8. Go down to the comment section, leave us a comment for this particular webinar or podcast. You can tell I do too many different audio visual things on the internet now because I'm dropping the wrong lines. But on the podcast, leave us a comment, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Catch you in episode 9.